Chapter 28:30. Everyone in the Kongshen school was shocked. N-E-N-E-N. They were well aware of Lu Ming's abilities. Not long ago, he could only compete with the people on the real god ranking list. How could he possibly kill people at the level of a son of saint, and two of them at that? How is that possible? The Tianhong Saint and Fuxiko were also resting in the Kongshen school's base. They shook their heads in disbelief after hearing the news. Could Lu Ming kill someone at the level of a saint? They knew the Dark Warrior Saint of the Mystic Academy and the Sword Star Saint of the Invincible Kens. They were as strong as they were. If Lu Ming could kill Dark Warrior and Sword Star, wouldn't he be able to kill them too? This, Royang Qingxiang, Yu Linglong, Wu Zifeng, and Hai, and the others looked at each other in disbelief. Wu Wei, the divine king of the Kongshen school, was also stunned. This matter was also beyond his expectations. They finally understood why the two superpowers had mobilized so many people. Even the divine king had come. The death of a saint was indeed a big deal. You two must have misunderstood. Lu Ming is just a new disciple of the Kongshen school. How could he kill two saints? Wu Wei said after sorting out his thoughts. If it wasn't true, why would we come here? The divine king of the Mystic Academy said coldly. That's right, Wu Wei. Cut the crap and hand over Lu Ming. The divine king of the Invincible Kens was even more domineering. The two of you, this is the land of the ancient god. There are always risks associated with killing outside. Death is a common occurrence. If Lu Ming really killed the two of you, it doesn't make sense for you to kill your way into the Kongshen sect, right? Many of the disciples of the Kongshen school died at the hands of the two superpowers when they were outside. Wu Wei's voice turned cold as he spoke in a displeased tone. It was normal to die while adventuring and fighting outside. If one was afraid of dying outside, they might as well stay at home and not go out. Tempage, Wu Wei, are you mocking the holy son of the Mystic Academy for being weak? The Mystic Academy's godly king's voice turned gloomy as a powerful aura emanated from his body. If it was a normal battle, I wouldn't say a word if the disciples of the Mystic Academy were killed. But this time, it was your Kongshen school's disciple, Lu Ming, who used despicable means to harm our Mystic Academy's holy prince, and John. Other than that, there were 8 other heavenly gods from the 1st to the 5th layer. Does that Lu Ming have the strength to do so? The divine king of the Mystic Academy questioned loudly. That's right. That Lu Ming also used despicable means to assassinate our Invincible Kenz's holy son and other expert. The Invincible Kenz's godly king added. I see. It was an assassination attempt. No wonder. Almost everyone in the Kongshen school believed the godly king's words. That was the only explanation. They found it hard to believe that Lu Ming had killed 2 of their holy sons in a head-on battle. I see. The Heavenly Hong Holy Son and Fuxiko heaved a sigh of relief in their hearts. It turned out that Lu Ming had relied on Anhai to kill Anzhon and Jianxing, and not his true strength. They were relieved. This kid dared to assassinate the Invincible Kens, the Mystic Academy's holy son. This time, I don't even need to do anything. He's dead for sure. The Heavenly Hong Holy Son and Fuxiko cheered up when they thought of this. The Kongshen school's godly king, Wu Wei, fell silent. If that was the case, he had no reason to stop them. Wu Wei, hand over Lu Ming now. We don't have time to waste. The Invincible Kenz's godly king berated. Wu Wei frowned. He was also in a difficult position. Lu Ming was the Kongshen school's holy son. Naturally, he was unwilling to hand him over. However, he couldn't protect Lu Ming against 2 godly kings even if he wanted to. The two of you have come at the wrong time. Lu Ming isn't in the Kongshen school's base. I can't hand him over even if I wanted to. Wu Wei's gaze shifted as he spoke. In fact, he didn't know whether Lu Ming was in the base or not. He had made up this excuse because he didn't want to hand over Lu Ming. I'll know whether he's here or not with my spiritual senses, the Mystic Academy's godly king said coldly. His spiritual senses burst out like a vast ocean and swept towards the Kongshen school's base. How dare you search the Kongshen school's base as you wish? Wu Wei's face darkened. His powerful spiritual senses also burst out and blocked the spiritual senses of the Mystic Academy's godly king. Wu Wei, do you think you can stop the two of us by yourself? Dream on. Let me take you on. The invincible Kenzes godly king said. Then, a sword chime shook the 9 heavens. A dazzling sword ray suddenly appeared in the sky and stood tall between heaven and earth. It was unknown how long or how big it was, but it blotted out the sky and covered the sun as it slashed towards the Kongxian school's base. Wu Wei's face changed. Dazzling divine power burst out from his body. His body soared into the sky and turned into a rainbow light as he charged towards the gigantic sword ray. Boom! It was as if the entire world was trembling. The power of the godly king was terrifying. Both of them had controlled their divine power so that it did not leak out. Otherwise, the tremors would have been even more shocking. The two of them exchanged a blow and faced each other in the sky. A terrifying pressure emanated from them. As a result, Wu Wei no longer had the ability to stop the Mystic Academy's godly king. The Mystic Academy's godly king snorted coldly. He took a step forward and appeared in the sky above the Kongxian school's base. His powerful spiritual senses swept out, but after a while, his face darkened. As expected, Lu Ming is not here. The Mystic Academy's godly king said coldly. Wu Wei was relieved when he heard this. Ouyang Qingxiang, Yu Linglong, and the others also heaved a sigh of relief. Although they did not see Lu Ming in the base, they were still worried that Lu Ming might be in seclusion somewhere in the base. That would be dangerous. Not here. The invincible Kenzes godly king's face darkened. I know. Lu Ming is not in the Kongxian school's base. He might be in the base of the Ice Soul race. Lu Ming is close to the Ice Soul race. A prodigy from the Mystic Academy shouted. This person was one of the prodigies from the Mystic Academy. He had seen Lu Ming being close to Bingqing and the others. The Ice Soul race. The Mystic Academy's godly king and the invincible Kenzes godly king narrowed their eyes. The Ice Soul race was not something the Kongxian school could bully. The Ice Soul clan was one of the 2 most powerful clans in the Qin Tian galaxy. They were even more powerful than the Hybrid Demon Academy or the Immortal Sword Sect. Unless the 2 clans worked together, they would not be able to compete with the Ice Soul clan. However, they were unwilling to give up just like that. The 2 of them looked at each other and saw the determination in each other's eyes. HMPH. It's useless even if he hides in the Ice Soul race. He must pay with his life for using despicable means to harm the saint of the Mystic Academy. The Mystic Academy's godly king said coldly, let's go. Let's go to the Ice Soul race and get him back. Then, he took the lead and flew toward the Ice Soul race. P.S. Dear readers, I'm the shepherd boy Ting Zhu. I'm recommending a free app that supports downloading, listening to books, 0 ads, and multiple reading modes. Readers, please follow me. Chapter 28-31. The Mystic Academy's King of Gods led his men to attack the Ice Soul race. At the same time, the invincible Kenzes King of Gods led his men to attack the Ice Soul race. Let's go and take a look. Let's go together. Everyone from the Kongxian school was curious and wanted to know the result of this battle. They followed the Mystic Academy and the invincible Kens toward the Ice Soul race. Lu Ming, I hope you're not in the Ice Soul race. Ouyang Qingxiang, Yu Linglong, and the others muttered as they followed the crowd toward the Ice Soul race. Lu Ming, I hope you're in the Ice Soul race. The Great Sky Saint and Fuxiko's eyes flashed coldly. They both hoped that Lu Ming would be killed by the Mystic Academy and the invincible Kens if he was in the Ice Soul race. A group of people flew toward the Ice Soul race. When they got close to the Ice Soul race's base, the Ice Soul race's base was alerted and war drums sounded. Countless people from the Ice Soul race's base flew toward the city walls. It's the invincible Kens. The Mystic Academy and the Kongxian school are following them. What are they doing in the Ice Soul race's base? Looks like they don't have good intentions. Many people from the Ice Soul race whispered among themselves. Oh no, the invincible Kens and the Mystic Academy are really here. Hurry up and inform Brother Lu. Bingqing's expression changed when she saw the invincible Kens and the Mystic Academy. She flew toward a stone house in the Ice Soul Race's base. The Mystic Academy and the invincible Kenzes people stopped outside the Ice Soul Race's base. Why have you brought so many people to my Ice Soul clan in such an aggressive manner? What do you want? The Ice Spirit clan's divine king stepped out and came to the sky. His voice was cold. Brother Bing, we're here to ask the Ice Soul clan if a boy named Lu Ming from the Kongxian school is in the Ice Soul clan. The divine king from the Mystic Academy spoke. However, he was much more polite to the divine king from the Ice Soul clan. No comment. You can leave now. The Ice Spirit Race's divine king said coldly. Brother Bing, this person used despicable means to kill our holy sons and other experts. We must capture this person. Furthermore, our people saw that Lu Ming was very close to the people of your Ice Soul clan. If that person is really in your Ice Soul clan, Brother Bing, it would be better for you to hand him over so as to avoid damaging our relationship. The king of Invincible Kens said. Hurt the harmony? Haha, so what if it hurts our friendship? The Ice Soul Race's God King sneered. You, the king of Invincible Kenz's face turned ugly. He had been polite enough, but the other party did not give him any face. That Lu Ming must be in the Ice Soul clan. The third young master of the Ice Soul clan has returned. They were together before this. A disciple from the Mystic Academy shouted and pointed at the third young master of the Ice Soul clan. Brother Bing, it seems like Lu Ming is really in your Ice Soul clan. I think you should hand him over. The king of Mystic Academy said. I've already said that I'll tell you. Why are you still not leaving? Do you want to start a war with my Ice Soul clan? The Ice Soul Race's God King was still domineering. The king of Mystic Academy and the king of Invincible Kenz's faces turned ugly. They looked at each other and a trace of determination flashed in their eyes. Today, they had mobilized a large force to come here. If they were to retreat because of a few rude words from the Ice Soul Race's God King, they would lose face. Moreover, they weren't afraid of the Ice Soul clan even if they joined forces. Brother Bing, you have to understand that this is the ancient god world, not the Qin Tian starfield. Each of our forces can only send one god king here. The king of Invincible Kens said coldly. Are you threatening me? The Ice Soul Race's god king's eyes narrowed and a terrifying chill spread out. I'm not threatening you. I'm just stating the truth. The king of Invincible Kens said and became aggressive. A sword light flickered around his body and a terrifying sword intent seemed like it was going to explode at any time. That's right. If Brother Bing really wants to be our enemy, we can only spar with you. The God King of the Hybrid Demon Academy said coldly. His powerful aura was faintly discernible. The Ice Soul Race's God King's face turned ugly. He had no chance of winning against two God Kings. This time, each of the major forces could only send one God King. Without a doubt, they were all powerful God Kings. This was especially true for the God Kings of Invincible Kens and the Mystic Academy. None of them were weaker than him. If they really wanted to fight, he wouldn't be able to stop them. As for those below the God King level, the difference between them and the God Kings was too great. There was no way they could compete. Brother Bing, you'd better hand Lu Ming over so as not to hurt our friendship. The king of Invincible Kenz's sword light became stronger and stronger. A terrifying sword intent locked onto the Ice Soul Race's God King. Lu Ming, get out here. At this moment, the king of Mystic Academy's roar shook the entire base of the Ice Soul Race. Previously, Lu Ming had been cultivating in a stone house in the Ice Soul Race's base and studying the stone fruit. The fruit was the size of a wash basin and was round in shape. There were strange patterns on it, but Lu Ming couldn't figure out the use of the fruit even after studying it for a long time. They also couldn't figure out the bone-seeking demon and the quantifying formula. Lu Ming could only put it away and slowly study it in the future. At this moment, Bing Qing rushed in hurriedly. Brother Lu, this is bad. The people from the Mystic Academy and the Invincible Kens are really here. Even the King of Gods is here. Bing Qing said. Even the King of Gods is here. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. He didn't expect the other party to mobilize so many people. Even the King of Gods in the base was here. But don't worry. Even if their King of Gods is here, The king of gods of the ice soul race won't hand you over. Bing Qing said with a firm expression. Lu Ming, get out here. At this moment, a roar came from afar and shook the entire base. Bing Qing and Lu Ming's expressions changed. It seems that the other party is very strong, Lu Ming said. Lu Ming, get out here. You won't be able to escape today. The roar came again. Lu Ming, you can't go out. Our king of gods will stop them, Bing Qing said hurriedly. It's hard to say. It seems that the other party is very strong. Moreover, if the Mystic Academy and the Invincible Kens join forces, even the king of gods of the nobility race won't be able to stop them. If it's a blessing, it's not a curse. If it's a curse, it can't be avoided. Since that's the case, let's go out and take a look. Lu Ming was a decisive person. After saying that, he took large strides and flew out. Bing Qing followed behind Lu Ming anxiously. Soon, Lu Ming flew to the wall of the Ice Soul Race's base. That's Lu Ming. Lu Ming is here. A disciple of the Mystic Academy pointed at Lu Ming and shouted. Everyone's gaze turned to Lu Ming. Some were ferocious, some were curious, some were filled with killing intent, and some were worried. Oh no, Lu Ming is really in the Ice Soul Race's base. Ouyang Qingxiang and the others were worried. On the other hand, the Tianhong Saint and Fuxiko were overjoyed. Chapter 28-32. Seeing that Lu Ming had really appeared, the Skybright Saint Sun and Fuxiko were elated. Today, the Invincible Kens and the Divine King of the Mystic Academy were so powerful that they didn't even give face to the Ice Spirit race. Lu Ming was doomed. Looks like this kid is really here. Get over here. The Divine King of the Hybrid Demon Academy hollered coldly. He raised his palm and a powerful suction force erupted from it. It sucked Lu Ming in, wanting to suck him over. Humph. The Divine King of the Ice Spirit race snorted coldly as he took a step forward. A terrifying chill burst out and shattered the suction force of the Mystic Academy's Divine King. Brother Ice, are you determined to fight with us? The Divine King of the Mystic Academy said coldly. So what if we fight? The Divine King of the Ice Spirit race retorted. If you want to fight, I'll fight with you. I'm just afraid that you won't be able to stop us alone. The Divine King of the Mystic Academy shouted angrily as a violent energy burst out from his body. Everyone in the area felt a strong pressure. At the same time, the Divine King of the Invincible Kens also released a terrifying sword intent that pressed down on the Divine King of the Ice Spirit race. The Divine King of the Ice Spirit race took a step back. Ha ha ha, suddenly, Lu Ming burst out laughing. Kid, what are you laughing at? The Divine King of the Mystic Academy glanced coldly at Lu Ming. Two Divine Kings, it's my honor to bring so many experts to capture a junior like me. That's why I'm laughing. Lu Ming said loudly, also, I'm curious. Why are the two of you here to capture me? You used despicable means to harm the saints of our two sects. Why can't we capture you? The Divine King of the Mystic Academy said. Despicable means? Harm? What a joke. Lu Ming laughed heartily, and Zhon and Jian Xing led a group of experts to hunt me down. However, they were too arrogant. I took advantage of the terrain and controlled a large formation to trap and kill them. You call this despicable? You call this assassination? Do we have to rely on brute force when fighting for treasures outside? Intelligence won't do. Lu Ming asked continuously. Nonsense. The Divine King of the Mystic Academy shouted coldly. Why should I listen to his nonsense? Just take him down, the Invincible Kens said coldly. With that, he stepped forward to capture Lu Ming. However, at this moment, a powerful aura came from the sky and locked onto the Invincible Ken's Divine King. Wu Wei, you want to interfere too? The Invincible Ken's Divine King looked up with a cold expression. Nonsense. Lu Ming is a disciple of the Kongxian school. How can I let you take him away just because you want to? Wu Wei stepped down, his god force surging as he locked onto the Invincible Ken's Divine King. Previously, he was alone and could not stop the other party. However, with the help of the Icy Soul Race's Divine King, he had nothing to fear. Lu Ming has already said that he was chased first. Then, He controlled a large formation to trap and kill the two of you. He relied on his intelligence. How can you say that he's despicable? If he can't even use formations, why would he cultivate them? Wu Wei replied mockingly. The invincible Ken's Divine King's expression turned ugly at the Mystic Academy's Divine King. With Wu Wei here and the Icy Soul Race's Divine King, they would not be able to gain any advantage. Phew! Ouyang Qingxiang, Yu Linglong, and the others breathed a sigh of relief. With Wu Wei's help, Lu Ming would be safe. They were relieved. Damn it, why is this kid so lucky? The Great Sky Saint, Fuxiko, and the others were unhappy. Everyone, please leave. The Icy Soul Race does not welcome you. The Icy Soul Race's Divine King waved his hand. Ha ha ha, this is the matter of the 13 sects of Qin Tian. The Icy Soul Race is meddling in other people's business. Since that's the case, the Flame Race will play with you. At this moment, a deep voice sounded from afar. As soon as the voice sounded, a figure appeared in the sky. It was a middle-aged man with a burly and muscular body. His skin was scarlet red and exuded a terrifyingly high temperature. It was someone from the Flame Race. Moreover, it was a Divine King from the Flame Race. The Icy Soul Race's Divine King's expression turned ugly. Wu Wei's expression also darkened. On the other hand, the invincible Ken's Divine King from the Mystic Academy rejoiced. The Flame Race and the Icy Soul Race were mortal enemies. The appearance of the Flame Race's Divine King would definitely not help the Icy Soul Race. The two of you, I'll block the Icy Soul Race's Divine King for you. If you want to take him, go ahead. The Flame Race's Divine King sneered as a scorching aura spread towards the Icy Soul Race's Divine King. Oh no! Not only Wu Wei, but the Icy Soul Race's Divine King's expression changed. Bing Qing, Ouyang Qingxiang, Yu Linglong, and the others' expressions changed drastically. Originally, Lu Ming was already safe. Who would have thought that the Flame Race's Divine King would appear at this crucial moment and break the stalemate? The strength of both sides tilted once again. Ha ha ha, this kid is destined to die here. The Great Sky Saint, Fuxiko, and the others laughed in their hearts. They were so happy that they could die. Wu Wei, let's see how you're going to block this. The invincible Ken's Divine King released a powerful aura and locked onto Wu Wei. The Mystic Academy's Divine King was also preparing to attack. A battle was about to break out. Fight! Lu Ming gritted his teeth and decided to ignite his ancient god heart. He knew that with his cultivation, even if he ignited his ancient god heart, his battle strength was still worlds apart from a Divine King's. There was no way he could stop a Divine King. However, it wasn't his style to just sit and wait for death to come. Even if he died, he had to fight. Roar! Roar! At this critical moment, a roar suddenly came from afar. In the next moment, there were more and more roars, layer after layer, wave after wave. It was like a wave, and it was incomparably terrifying. What's going on? Many people's expressions changed drastically. Roar! 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 The sky shook and the earth shook. In the distance, a group of people flew over in panic. They were all from the Icy Soul Race. It was obvious that these people had been adventuring outside and were now flying back in a sorry state. Oh no, it's the beast tide. It's the demon tide. Quickly enter the city, those from the Icy Soul Race screamed in fear. What? Demon tide? Many people were shocked. This was especially so for the few godly kings, who had exceptional eyesight. They could already see that in the distance, countless fiendish demons were roaring and charging towards them. There were so many of them that it was hard to count. Among them, there were many terrifying fiendish demons. There were countless heavenly gods among them. So many demons. Even the Divine King's expressions changed. At this moment, the Divine Kings of the Mystic Academy, Invincible Kens, Kongshen School, and the Divine King of the Flaming Flame Race received the news at the same time. Outside their base, they also discovered countless fiendish demons attacking their base. Chapter 28:33. Countless fiendish demons were rushing toward the bases. The godly kings could no longer remain calm. There were still many disciples in their bases. If the fiendish demons broke through, they would suffer great losses. Damn it. Let's go back to the base. The Mystic Academy's godly king roared. At this moment, he could no longer care about taking down Lu Ming. On Lu Ming's side, there were Wu Wei and the Divine King from the Ice Soul clan. Even if they added the Divine King from the Flaming Flame clan, there would be 3 of them. However, if Wu Wei and the Divine King from the Ice Soul clan went all out to stop them, they would not be able to take Lu Ming down in a short time. If that happened, their bases would be in danger. Let's go. The invincible Kenzes godly king roared. Although he was unwilling, he had no choice but to return to the base first. The Mystic Academies and the invincible Kenzes godly kings rushed back to their respective bases with the elites of the 2 sects. They disappeared in the blink of an eye. Let's go back too. Wu Wei shouted. A large number of fiendish demons had appeared outside the Kongxian school's base. He led the people of the Kongxian school back to the base. The Flaming Race's godly king flashed and disappeared without a trace. Only the people of the Ice Spirit race were left at the scene. Lu Ming did not follow them back to the Kongxian school. He planned to stay with the Ice Spirit race for the time being. The people of the Ice Spirit race outside quickly rushed into the Ice Spirit race's base. Pay attention to the defense. The Ice Spirit race's godly king ordered. Buzz. Buzz. Numerous magical symbols appeared on the city wall of the Ice Soul clan's base, forming a grand defensive spell formation. Roar. Roar. The roars became louder and louder. It was as if thousands of fiendish demons were roaring at the same time. It was a shocking scene. Rumble. Countless fiendish demons were running on the ground or flying in the sky. They were charging toward the base. So many. The people of the Ice Spirit race were shocked when they saw the number of fiendish demons. Lu Ming's face turned grave. There were too many fiendish demons. Moreover, the number of powerful fiendish demons was shocking. With so many fiendish demons, it would be difficult for the Ice Soul clan to fend them off with their current strength. Fortunately, they had godly king experts. With godly king experts guarding them, they were as stable as a fortress. The Ice Soul clan's god king was not in the formation. He was standing outside the base. Frozen world. The Ice Soul race's divine king shouted coldly. His body emitted a terrifying chill as he struck out with his palm. Crash. A terrifying wave of cold spread towards the group of demons and demons. In an instant, the ground and the sky were completely frozen. Endless ice appeared, and countless demons were frozen into ice cubes. Be it true God realm fiendish demons or heavenly God realm fiendish demons, all of them were instantly frozen into ice cubes. Bang! Bang! The demons flying in the sky were frozen into ice cubes and fell to the ground, shattering into pieces. In an instant, at least tens of thousands of demons were killed. What terrifying strength! Is this the strength of a god king? Lu Ming was shocked. His current combat strength was already considered decent. He could easily kill a first-level heavenly god. He could even put up a fight against a second-level heavenly god. As for Chocho, it could easily kill a third-level heavenly god. But compared to a god king, it was much weaker. You're ignorant and inexperienced. What's the big deal? Back then, I personally saw an expert controlling the ancient origin character Ice. With one move, he froze an entire galaxy. That's what I call amazing. The quantifying character formula said in disdain. Freezing an entire galaxy with one move? You must be bluffing. Lu Ming did not believe it at all. How vast and boundless was a river of stars? It was boundless and had no boundaries. Freezing an entire galaxy with one move? How was that possible? How could there be such a powerful existence in the world? Lu Ming did not believe it. He thought the quantifying character formula was bluffing. That's why I said you're ignorant. The quantifying character formula said in disdain. Great. At this moment, the people of the Ice Soul clan cheered loudly. The God King killed tens of thousands of demons with one move. They were relieved. With the God King around, he could stop those demons alone. No matter how many demons there were, they would not be afraid. However, No one noticed that the God King of the Ice Soul clan had a serious expression as he looked into the distance. Outsiders, kill. A roar came from the distant sky. This roar caused the entire world to tremble. In the base of the Ice Soul clan, some of the weaker ones spat out mouthfuls of blood even though they were protected by the formation. Their faces turned pale. Everyone saw a figure appear at the end of the world. It was a humanoid creature that looked very similar to a human. However, he was 100 meters tall and his body was covered with a layer of orange scales. He held a huge mace in his hand. Boom, boom, boom. This living being was running through the void at a frightening speed. Every step it took caused the void to tremble. A God King. It's a God King, many people exclaimed. The aura emitted by this living being was too terrifying. It was a divine king. This creature charged directly at the God King of the Ice Soul clan. Kill. The Ice Spirit Race's God King bellowed as he dashed towards his opponent. Boom. The two sides collided. Half the sky was covered in ice. Bam. Bam. Both the creature and the God King of the Ice Soul clan were forced to retreat. This move was evenly matched. How can he be so strong? Many people of the Ice Soul clan were shocked. One should know that the God Kings of the various factions who had entered the ancient God world were the best among the God Kings. They were very powerful and could easily defeat other God Kings of the same level. However, this creature was able to fight against the God King of the Ice Soul clan. Could it be that his level was much higher than the God King of the Ice Soul clan? Kill. Kill. The creature and the God King of the Ice Soul clan shouted at the same time and started fighting again. The two of them fought fiercely in the sky. The void shook as if two stars were colliding. It was difficult to determine the winner. Roar. 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 The fiendish demons charged toward the base of the Ice Soul clan. These fiendish demons had different appearances. They were surrounded by demonic chi and a murderous aura. Attack. Kill these fiendish demons. Someone roared. Swoosh. 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 Above the base of the Ice Soul clan, the experts of the Ice Soul clan attacked one after another. The temperature of the area began to drop rapidly. Ice constantly appeared on the ground and in the sky. Many fiendish demons were frozen in an instant. However, there were too many fiendish demons. They kept charging toward the base. Some of the stronger fiendish demons were able to shake off the ice on their bodies. Some of the fiendish demons were killed, but more fiendish demons charged toward the base of the Ice Soul clan. They attacked the array of the Ice Soul clan. Boom. Boom. The array began to shake violently. The base of the Ice Soul clan was only built temporarily. The array was also set up temporarily. Its power was limited and it could not withstand the attacks of the countless fiendish demons. The array kept shaking as if it would collapse at any time. Chapter 28-34. Kill. Block it. The Ice Soul tribe roared and attacked with all their might. However, they were still outnumbered by the demons and could not block all of them. Roar. A demonic ape that was over 1,000 meters tall rushed over from afar and punched the array. Boom. The array shook violently and cracks appeared on its surface. Terrifying. The demonic ape was extremely powerful and had probably reached the peak of the heavenly god realm. In fact, there was more than one peak heavenly god realm demon among the demons. Although there were peak heavenly gods in the Ice Soul tribe, they were not as numerous as the demons. Boom. On the other side, a giant bird that was surrounded by demonic aura and had a wingspan of a few thousand meters opened its mouth and spat out a black lightning bolt that struck the array. The array could no longer withstand the attack and started to crumble and explode. Roar. The demonic ape roared and stomped on the ground. It soared into the sky and charged towards the base of the Ice Soul tribe. Boom. In an instant, at least a dozen experts of the Ice Soul tribe were killed by the demonic ape. Finally, the demonic ape crashed heavily on the base, causing the entire base to explode. Debris flew everywhere and dust filled the air. At the same time, the other terrifying demons also attacked. Screams of agony filled the air and blood filled the air. The Ice Soul tribe was completely at a disadvantage. They were no match for the demons. Poof. Lu Ming killed a level 9 true god fiendish demon with one strike of his spear. He then dodged the attack of a celestial god fiendish demon. These demons would find their opponents based on their aura. The stronger demons would target the stronger experts and the weaker ones would target the weaker ones. Lu Ming's cultivation was at the 5th level of the true god realm. Therefore, many true god realm demons attacked him. However, as Lu Ming killed more and more fiendish demons, the more powerful fiendish demons targeted Lu Ming. Some fiendish demons in the heavenly god realm had already charged towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming was under more and more pressure. I can't go on like this. There are too many demons. Lu Ming thought of a countermeasure as he fought. Charge out. Spread out. Charge out. Run for your lives. The Ice Soul Race's God King roared. Given the current situation, this was the only way. Otherwise, all of the Ice Soul clan members would die. Only by splitting up and rushing out could many people have a chance to survive. Now, all they could do was escape. Charge. Charge out. Immediately, all the Ice Soul clan members began to charge in all directions. Some were in groups of 3 to 5, some were in groups of 2 to 3, and some were alone. Chaos. The scene was a complete mess. Lu Ming discovered that there were fiendish demons in all directions. It was a chaotic battle. At this moment, he had no idea where Bing Qing and the others were, or if they were still alive. Charge. At this moment, Lu Ming had no time to care about others. He randomly chose a direction and rushed in with all his might. The 9 ice chains danced in the air. Lu Ming unleashed his full strength and executed the Garuda technique. His figure flashed continuously as he charged forward. Fortunately, his cultivation was only at the 5th level of the true god realm. Those truly terrifying demons did not target him, so he was not under too much pressure. After charging for a while, Lu Ming broke out of the encirclement and rushed forward. However, a large group of demons still targeted him. They roared and chased after Lu Ming. It was the same in other directions. Many Ice Soul clan members also broke out of the encirclement and fled into the vast mountains. Behind them, a large group of demons chased after them. In fact, it was not only the Ice Soul clan's base that was attacked. The bases of other sects, such as the Flaming Tribe, Invincible Kens, Wuliang Sacred Ground, Mystic Academy, Kongxian School, and many others, were also attacked. The bases of these 15 powerful forces were all under attack. In fact, all of the bases were breached. Like the Ice Soul clan, everyone scattered and ran for their lives into the vast mountains. Roar! Roar! Lu Ming executed the 9 Heavens Kuan Peng technique and flew rapidly in the forest. However, there were at least a few dozen demons chasing after Lu Ming. Most of these demons were in the heavenly god realm. Some of them were extremely terrifying. Lu Ming did not dare to stop and fight. Because if he stopped, he might attract more demons. Fortunately, Lu Ming was fast enough. Those demons could not catch up with him for a while. Lu Ming did not know where he was going. He only vaguely remembered that he was running toward the depths of the ancient god realm. After running for 3 days, he finally shook off the demons chasing after him. Phew! Lu Ming heaved a sigh of relief. Then, he found a place to sit cross-legged and meditate. After a few hours, Lu Ming's essence, qi, and spirit had recovered to their peak. I wonder how Ouyang Qingxiang, Yu Linglong, and Wu Zifeng are doing. Lu Ming was a little worried. However, it was chaos now. He wanted to help but was powerless. He could only rely on his own luck. Roar! Roar! In the distance, roars could be heard. There were demons whizzing past, chasing after others. Lu Ming retracted his aura and continued forward. Now, the rear was very unsafe. Because there were a large number of demons and terrifying immortal kings, who were hundreds of meters tall and covered in orange scales. If he were to encounter those creatures, he would probably be slapped to death. In the next few days, Lu Ming traversed through the wild mountains. From time to time, Lu Ming would be chased by demons. Fortunately, Lu Ming did not encounter demons that were too terrifying. Moreover, with Chocho's help, as long as he did not encounter demons above the 4th level of the heavenly god realm, Lu Ming would not have to worry about protecting himself. Just like that, Lu Ming did not know how long he had run. Boom, boom, boom. Suddenly, there was a violent boom in front of him, accompanied by the roars of demons. Clearly, someone was fighting with demons. I wonder who it is. Let's go and take a look. Lu Ming retracted his aura and carefully headed towards the battlefield. Lu Ming was afraid that if it was someone he knew, he could still help. If it was an enemy, he would not care. Soon, Lu Ming climbed up a mountain peak that was not too tall. He hid behind the trees and looked ahead. There was an open space in front of him. Some people were fighting. That is, Lu Ming's eyes narrowed slightly. There were demons in the battle. The ones fighting with the demons were from the Flaming Tribe. What surprised Lu Ming the most were the other figures. These figures cooperated with the demons and attacked the Flaming Tribe. These figures were in human form, but they were about 12 meters tall and covered in scales. They were very similar to the 100-meter-tall immortal king that he saw before. The only difference was that the creatures here were much shorter, and the scales on their bodies were red instead of orange. What race are they? They don't have the aura of demons. They are not demons. Wait, that's the aura of an ancient god. Suddenly, Lu Ming's eyes widened in shock. Chapter 28:35. Lu Ming was shocked. He felt the presence of the ancient gods from the creatures that were more than 10 meters tall and covered in red scales. Lu Ming had the heart of the ancient gods and was very sensitive to the presence of the ancient gods. He could not be wrong. What is going on? Are these creatures also descendants of the ancient gods? Legend has it that the ancient gods have huge bodies. If these creatures are also so huge, they might really be descendants of the ancient gods. Their bloodline is thicker than the descendants of the ancient gods on the ancient god planet. Thoughts flashed through Lu Ming's mind. The battle at the front was very intense. The few tall living beings and the demons completely had the upper hand, forcing the Flaming Tribe members to retreat again and again. Lu Ming naturally did not plan to fight. The Flaming Tribe's divine king wanted to kill him. He was more than happy to see the Flaming Tribe get killed. Lu Ming retreated quietly and left the place. A few hours later, Lu Ming came to a valley. Lu Ming was about to enter the valley to find a place to rest. But suddenly, a few figures flashed in the valley, and several figures appeared. Lu Ming, as soon as these figures saw Lu Ming, they emitted cold murderous intent. The people of the Mystic Academy are so unlucky. Lu Ming frowned and turned to leave. Trying to leave? Die. You killed the Dark Battle Saint and you still want to leave? Kill. The experts of the Mystic Academy roared and charged at Lu Ming. These few people were very fast. They were closing in on Lu Ming quickly. Such powerful cultivation. Lu Ming's face changed. These few people were all experts in the celestial god realm. 2 of them were at least at the 4th level celestial god realm. Lu Ming was no match for them. Lu Ming used the 9 heavens Kuan Peng art and formed a giant Kuan Peng outside his body. It flapped its wings and moved forward quickly. However, the experts of the Mystic Academy were also very fast. Even if Lu Ming used the 9 heavens Kuan Peng art, he was still slower than them. The distance between the 2 sides was closing. Kill. An elder in a black robe shouted and slashed at Lu Ming. The blade radiance slashed a few thousand miles towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming's face changed. The 9 layers of crimson golden armor appeared. At the same time, he used the divine dragon Dharma body art and a 9-clawed dragon pounced on the elder. Bam! The divine dragon avatar bore the brunt of the attack and was directly split into 2 by the saber gleam. The saber gleam did not stop and continued to slash toward Lu Ming. Bam! Bam! The 9 ice chains shattered and the blade radiance landed on Lu Ming's body. At the critical moment, Chocho wriggled and turned into a set of armor that covered Lu Ming's body. It formed a double layer of protection with the 9 layers of crimson golden armor. Even so, Lu Ming was still sent flying by the blade radiance, crashing into several ancient trees. Puff! Lu Ming spurted out a mouthful of blood. However, he did not dare to stay any longer. His figure swayed and he flew forward again. The elder's strength was beyond his imagination. He was at least a level 5 heavenly god, which was much stronger than him. Even Chocho would have killed him if it wasn't for Chocho's protection. Kid, you actually have a metallic lifeform to protect you. But how many slashes can a metallic lifeform withstand? The black-robed elder snorted and turned into a streak of blade radiance, chasing after Lu Ming. There was another person whose speed was on par with the black-robed elder. He was obviously an expert of the same level. Lu Ming was in danger. However, at this moment, a few roars were heard. Ferocious chi filled the air. A few gigantic fiendish demons swooped down from the sky and stared at Lu Ming and the rest with their sharp eyes. Roar! Roar! The aura of the people from the Mystic Academy was too strong. A few powerful fiendish demons targeted the experts from the Mystic Academy and pounced on them, ignoring Lu Ming. The heavens are on my side. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He sped up and rushed forward, only to hear the angry roars of the people from the Mystic Academy behind him. The people from the Mystic Academy were frustrated. They were about to catch Lu Ming when a few fiendish demons blocked their way. They could only watch as Lu Ming left. Lu Ming did not stop. He flew forward, carefully avoiding some fiendish demons. He flew for more than 100,000 miles. Boom! Suddenly, a gust of wind blew. A gigantic figure descended from the sky and landed in front of Lu Ming. It stomped on the ground, creating a huge crater. It was a gigantic creature that was more than 30 meters tall. Its body was covered in red scales and its muscles were like dragons. It looked very powerful. Lu Ming's pupils contracted. He quickly retreated and was on full alert. However, the creature did not attack Lu Ming. Instead, it looked at Lu Ming curiously and said in a deep voice, "Little guy, which tribe are you from? You're only a level 5 true god, but you're running around. Do you know that there are outsiders who have come to destroy our environment? It's very dangerous now." The gigantic creature spoke. Its language was exactly the same as Lu Ming and the rest. Ah! Lu Ming was stunned. He was a little confused. What did this creature mean? From its tone, it seemed to treat Lu Ming as one of its own tribe. Could it be because of the ancient god's heart? Lu Ming's heart moved. He had condensed the ancient god's heart and his body emitted a strong ancient god aura. This creature also emitted a strong ancient god aura. It was possible that it treated him as one of its own tribe. However, the difference in size between them was too big. However, something happened that made Lu Ming stare at it. The gigantic creature's body shrunk rapidly. The scales on its body also disappeared quickly. Soon, an ordinary-looking middle-aged man of about 2 meters tall appeared in front of Lu Ming. He looked no different from an ordinary human. Could this be his real body? Did he use some kind of secret technique just now to have such a huge body? Lu Ming couldn't help but guess. "Little guy, why are you in a daze? I'm asking you a question," the middle-aged man asked. I'm not from any tribe," Lu Ming replied. He had no idea about the situation here, so he could only make things up. "You're not from any tribe? Are you the descendant of the ascetic cultivators?" The middle-aged man widened his eyes and asked in surprise. "Yes, I'm the descendant of the ascetic cultivators." Lu Ming nodded hurriedly. At the same time, he stared at the other party cautiously. If the situation went wrong, he would run away immediately. "You're really the descendant of the ascetic cultivators. I've only heard of the ascetic cultivators before, but I've never seen one. No wonder you dare to run around alone. However, things are different now. Now that outsiders have arrived, this area will become very dangerous. I think you'd better follow me for the time being. You can look after me," the middle-aged man said with a smile. His eyes were very gentle. It seemed that he really treated Lu Ming as one of his own tribe. Chapter 28:36. All right. Thank you, Senior. Lu Ming pondered for a while and nodded in agreement. It would be more beneficial for him to follow the middle-aged man. Lu Ming was surrounded by enemies. The Mystic Academy, Invincible Kens, Flaming Tribe, etc. He also had to avoid the demons. At least he would not have to worry about the demons if he followed the middle-aged man. Even if he encountered the Mystic Academy and invincible Kens, he would have helpers. I'm Jiyu Hongshan. What's your name? The middle-aged man asked. I'm Lu Ming. Lu Ming replied. Lu. There's such a surname in our tribe. But you ascetic cultivators are a bunch of perverts. It's normal for you to use a different surname. Jiyu Hongshan mumbled but did not think too much about it. Lu Ming was relieved. Senior, what's the situation with the outsiders? What's the situation now? Lu Ming pretended to ask as he wanted to know more about the situation. The outsiders are from beyond the heavens. As soon as they came in, they destroyed our living environment and plundered all the treasures here. They even killed many of our people. So this time, all the tribes have joined forces and mobilized a large number of experts and Divine King experts to join forces with the demonic clan to attack the outsiders. However, there are many experts among the outsiders. Although we killed a group of them, most of them ran away and are now hunting with our tribe in the barbaric mountain range. Jiyu Hongshan explained. Lu Ming nodded. He could roughly understand. The other party had considered them to be invaders. That was why they had attacked them. This was normal. When they encountered an invasion, they naturally had to fight back. The descendants of the ancient gods have been living in this world since ancient times. We have never fought with anyone. I didn't expect the outsiders to come this time. It might be a disaster for our tribe. Jiyu Hongshan sighed. The descendants of the ancient gods. They are indeed the descendants of the ancient gods. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. These people were indeed the descendants of the ancient gods. He wondered how they were related to the descendants of the ancient gods in the ancient gods mountain. Lu Ming, let's go. Our tribe is besieging a few outsiders not far away. I'm going to help. Come with me. Jiyu Hongshan said. Okay. Lu Ming nodded and then rushed in a direction with Jiyu Hongshan. Jiyu Hongshan's cultivation was very high. He was afraid that Lu Ming could not keep up with him, but when he looked back, he saw Lu Ming was behind him. He sped up and Lu Ming could keep up with him. Ha ha, as expected of the descendants of the ascetic cultivators. Jiyu Hongshan said with a smile. He was very straightforward. Lu Ming smiled faintly and did not say much. In front of him, the sound of swords humming continuously reverberated as streaks of swordlight soared into the sky. It was the people of the invincible Kens. At this moment, a few invincible Kens elites were fighting with a few burly descendants of the ancient gods. The descendants of the ancient gods were all burly. They were about 10 to 20 meters tall and their bodies were covered with red scales. They were very strong and had great combat strength. The invincible Kens elites were forced to retreat. Lu Ming, stay here and watch. I'll go and kill those outsiders. Jiyu Hongshan said to Lu Ming. Senior, be careful. Lu Ming reminded him. Haha, don't worry. I don't care about those outsiders. Jiyu Hongshan smiled and took a step forward. His body rushed out. As he charged out, his body began to grow rapidly. In just a blink of an eye, he had transformed into a giant that was more than 30 meters tall and covered in red scales. Oh no! The faces of the invincible Kens elites changed when they saw Jiyu Hongshan. Die, outsider! Jiyu Hongshan rushed over and threw out a punch. Boom! The void shook violently as if it was about to explode. Jiyu Hongshan's punch shattered the sword light of one of the invincible Kens elites and landed on his body. The invincible Kens elite screamed as his body flew out and exploded in the air. Blood and flesh splattered everywhere. So powerful. That invincible Kens elite was at least a level 5 heavenly god. However, he was killed by Jiyu Hongshan with a single punch. Boom. Boom. Jiyu Hongshan was very brave. He continued to throw out punches. The remaining invincible Kens elites were all killed by Jiyu Hongshan. Haha. Jiyu Hongshan, you came just in time. However, even if you didn't come, we could also take care of these outsiders. The other giants laughed. Then, their bodies quickly changed to the size of a normal person. The 2 burly men and 2 burly elders were no different from normal people. Except for the strong ancient god aura on them. Jiyu Hongshan also turned into the size of a normal person. I met a young man on the way. Otherwise, I would have come earlier. Come, let me introduce you to someone. He is the descendant of the ascetic cultivators. Jiyu Hongshan said. What? The descendant of the ascetic cultivators? I have never seen the ascetic cultivators. Where are they? The others looked around and then looked in the direction of Lu Ming. They could sense Lu Ming's aura. Lu Ming stepped forward. What a strong ancient god aura. The few descendants of the ancient gods sized up Lu Ming and there was a look of surprise in their eyes. Come, let me introduce you. This is Lu Ming. Lu Ming, this is Jiyu Yuan. Jiyu Hongshan introduced the place to them and Lu Ming greeted them politely. Lu Ming, I can sense the strong ancient god aura on you. Have you formed the heart of the ancient god? One of the elders sized up Lu Ming and said in shock. What? The heart of the ancient god? Jiyu Hongshan and the group jumped in fright. They looked at Lu Ming with a shocked expression. Yes, I have formed the heart of the ancient god. Lu Ming nodded. Immediately, he manipulated the heart of the ancient god, causing it to beat faster. Crimson rays of light were emitted from his chest. It was as if a heart had emerged. A rich ancient god aura permeated the air. The heart of the ancient god. It is really the heart of the ancient god. Genius, genius. What a rare genius. Jiyu Hongshan and the others mumbled to themselves. Brother Jiyu Hongshan, is the heart of the ancient god rare? Lu Ming asked in surprise. Of course. You are an ascetic cultivator, so you might not know much about it. In our tribe, the strength of the ancient god bloodline determines the talent. The stronger the bloodline, the stronger the talent. Only when the bloodline of the ancient god is extremely strong will the heart of the ancient god be formed. Let me put it this way. Those who can form the heart of the ancient god are extremely rare in our tribe. Each of them is a rare genius. Their future is limitless. Jiyu Hongshan explained. Chapter 2837. I see. Lu Ming nodded. He could see that the descendants of the ancient god mainly cultivated their divine body and their divine power was secondary. All of them were powerful. The heart of the ancient god could improve their divine body continuously. It was normal for them to be peerless geniuses among the descendants of the ancient god. Lu Ming, you haven't cultivated the ancient god skill and awakened the ancient god body, have you? The elder, Jiyu Yuan, looked at Lu Ming and continued. Ancient god skill? Ancient god body? Lu Ming was curious. He thought for a while and shook his head. No. It's normal that you haven't awakened the ancient god body. After all, to awaken the ancient god body, you have to enter the blood pool and absorb the energy of the blood pool. You're a descendant of the ascetic cultivators. How could you have a blood pool? Jiyu Hongshan laughed. Yeah. Once you awaken the ancient god body after condensing the heart of the ancient god, it will be terrifying. At least you can awaken the orange armor ancient god body. It's even possible for you to awaken the yellow armor ancient god body. I'm looking forward to it. The others were also discussing animatedly as they revealed looks of envy. Yellow armor ancient god body? Orange armor ancient god body? Lu Ming was even more confused. Lu Ming, come back to the 8th tribe with us. Soon, the tribe will be preparing to send a batch of people into the blood pool. At that time, you can enter the blood pool together and awaken the ancient god body. That way, your strength will be enhanced by another level. Jiyu Hongshan said. Ancient god body? Is it the giant body that they transformed into? Their strength has increased tremendously. At the thought of this, Lu Ming was excited. Just now, he also saw that when Jiyu Hongshan and the others transformed into the giant state, their battle strength was indeed extremely powerful. Be it in terms of strength or defense, they had improved tremendously. If Lu Ming could cultivate this secret skill, his combat ability would increase tremendously. Kid, say yes to them. This is a great opportunity for you. Bone Demon shouted in his sea of consciousness. Well, okay. I've been wandering outside for many years. I'm looking for a tribe to rest for a while. Lu Ming nodded. Jiyu Hongshan and the others were overjoyed. Lu Ming was so talented. If he could join the 8th tribe would have another peerless genius. Of course, they were happy. All right, let's return to the tribe first. Jiyu Hongshan said. Big brother Hongshan, wait a moment. I have something that I want to ask you for help with. Lu Ming suddenly said. What is it? Jiyu Hongshan asked. I was hunted down by a group of outsiders and almost died at their hands. I have to take revenge. A cold light flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. He wanted to use the descendants of the ancient gods to get rid of the master from the Mystic Academy who was chasing after him. Lu Ming was not the kind of person who would not take revenge. Since he had a grudge, he would take revenge as soon as he had the chance. Outsiders? Where is it? Jiyu Hongshan, Gu Yuan, and the others had cold looks in their eyes. It's in a valley over 100,000 kilometers away. However, with just the few of us, I'm afraid it won't be enough. Lu Ming said. Previously, Lu Ming had sensed that there should be many masters from the Mystic Academy gathering in the valley. Those who were chasing after him were only a small part of them. That's easy. Let's contact some of our tribesmen and kill them all. Jiyu Hongshan said. Then, they took out a strange stone that looked similar to the communication jade talisman outside. However, it looked much older. They sent out the message and waited quietly. Soon, several figures flashed over. They were all from the 8th tribe of the descendants of the ancient gods. Not long after, a group of ancient gods' descendants gathered here. There were more than 30 of them. Jiyu Hongshan introduced Lu Ming to them. Everyone was shocked. Everyone, please follow me, Lu Ming said. Then, he led Jiyu Hongshan and the others to the valley where the Mystic Academy gathered. The valley was hidden. If one did not look carefully, it would not be easy to find it. Lu Ming had come here by accident. They stopped at a place not far from the valley. There was indeed a figure flashing by at the entrance of the valley. Obviously, the people from the Mystic Academy were still there. They had even sent people to guard the area. Let's kill them directly, Jiyu Hongshan said ferociously. No. Lu Ming stopped him. We don't know how many of them there are. It's dangerous to kill them directly. Moreover, they have people guarding them. If we kill them directly and they run away immediately, I'm afraid we won't be able to kill them all. Brother Lu Ming, do you have a better idea? Jiyu Hongshan said. I'll lure them here. They tried to kill me before but failed. Now that they've seen me, they'll definitely chase after me. The rest of you should lie in ambush in the surroundings. When they catch up, you can attack and kill them in one fell swoop. Once their strength is weakened, you can charge into the valley and kill them all. Lu Ming said. Good idea. It's really a good idea. That's right. Let's do it. The other descendants of the ancient gods nodded. Brother Lu Ming, you have to be careful in this. Jiyu Hongshan reminded him. Don't worry. I have a plan. Lu Ming nodded. Lu Ming was confident that he could lure the other party to a certain distance. Jiyu Hongshan and the others immediately set up an ambush. After they set up an ambush, Lu Ming moved and flew toward the valley in front. Who is it? A loud roar was heard. Lu Ming was discovered as soon as he got close. It's Lu Ming. It's that guy again. Take him down. This time, don't let him escape. Suddenly, there was a loud roar in the valley. Lu Ming turned around and ran toward the place where Jiyu Hongshan and the others were lying in ambush. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. More than 10 figures rushed out of the valley. They were all elites from the Mystic Academy, including those who tried to kill Lu Ming last time. Let's see where you can run to this time. One of the elites from the Mystic Academy said ferociously. They had sent more than 10 elites this time because they were afraid that Lu Ming would run away due to the interference of the fiendish demons like last time. This time, they had mobilized more than 10 people. They wanted to see where Lu Ming could run to. Let's be careful. This guy came back. He might be tricking us. That's right. If he runs to some strange place, we'd better not chase after him. There were also some people from the Mystic Academy who were cautious. Lu Ming was hunted down last time and he ran back this time. They were afraid that Lu Ming would lead them to some perilous place and use the power of the perilous place to kill them. However, they would never expect that Lu Ming was not going to use the perilous place to kill them. Instead, he was going to use the power of the descendants of the ancient gods. Therefore, Lu Ming naturally would not go to places with wonderful terrains. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Soon, they arrived at the place where the ancient gods were lying in ambush. Chapter 28:38. The place where the descendants of the ancient gods were lying in ambush was only a little complicated. That was why the people of the Mystic Academy weren't too cautious. Whoosh. Lu Ming, who was running away, suddenly stopped. "Kid, why aren't you running away? Since you know that you can't run away, I'll send you on your way." The old man in a black robe who caught up with Lu Ming last time said coldly as he slashed at Lu Ming with his blade. "You're the ones who will die." Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. Boom. A huge fist suddenly came from behind Lu Ming. The fist was covered with red scales and it shattered the blade of the old man in a black robe. Bam. Jiyu Hongshan's huge body appeared behind Lu Ming. Bam. Bam. Many huge figures rushed over from all directions and surrounded the dozens of elites of the Mystic Academy. "Oh no. We've been tricked. Retreat." The people of the Mystic Academy screamed in fear and wanted to retreat. They didn't expect that there would be so many descendants of the ancient gods lying in ambush here. But why would Lu Ming be with the descendants of the ancient gods? Kill. Jiyu Hongshan roared and charged at the people of the Mystic Academy. More than 30 descendants of the ancient gods all transformed into huge ancient gods and charged at the dozens of people of the Mystic Academy. Even though there were some elites in the Mystic Academy, they were no match for Jiyu Hongshan and the others. Screams could be heard as they were killed one by one. The old man in a black robe who was chasing after Lu Ming let out an unwilling roar before he was shattered into pieces by Jiyu Hongshan's punch. It was a massacre. The dozens of elites of the Mystic Academy were all killed in an instant. "Haha, great." Jiyu Hongshan laughed. "Let's not waste any time. Let's go to that valley and kill them all." Lu Ming said. "Kill. Let's go." Immediately, they charged toward the valley. In the valley, there was indeed a group of people from the Mystic Academy. Their cultivations varied. The weakest ones were only at the true god realm. There were about 30 of them, but none of them were too powerful. When Jiyu Hongshan and the others arrived, there was another massacre. Not long after, all the people from the Mystic Academy in the valley were killed. The Mystic Academy, this is just the beginning. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with killing intent. The Mystic Academy had forced him into a corner, and they were irreconcilable. Lu Ming was going to uproot the Mystic Academy and Invincible Kens sooner or later. After cleaning up the battlefield, Lu Ming followed Jiyu Hongshan and the others to the 8th tribe. Following Ancient Gods Mountain and the others, they did not have to worry about being attacked by demons. Their speed was much faster. However, after more than 10 days of traveling, they finally crossed the boundless wild mountains and arrived at the 8th tribe. The descendants of the ancient gods, the 8th tribe. It was a huge city. The entire city was built with a type of stone. This stone was very hard. There were many magnificent stone buildings in the city. These buildings had one thing in common: they were very big. Because the descendants of the ancient gods practiced the ancient god tactics, they would transform into the ancient god body. If the buildings were not big enough, they would easily be destroyed by their huge bodies. Along the way, Lu Ming learned a lot about the descendants of the ancient gods in this world. The descendants of the ancient gods in this world were divided into 10 tribes. Each tribe had hundreds of thousands of people, and some even had millions of people. The 8th tribe that Jiyu Hongshan was in was below average among the 10 tribes. It only had a population of about 500,000. The descendants of the ancient gods mainly practiced the ancient god tactics. The descendants of the ancient gods could enter the blood pool and awaken the ancient god body. Then, with the help of the ancient god tactics, they would be extremely powerful, especially the divine body. However, not everyone could awaken the ancient god body. Some people whose bloodline was not pure enough could not awaken the ancient god body. Only those with pure bloodlines could awaken the ancient god body. The ancient god body was divided into 7 levels. They were divided by color: red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and purple. The first level, which was also the lowest level, was called the red-armored ancient god body. Jiyu Hongshan, Guyuan, and the others had awakened the ancient god body at this level. In fact, most of the descendants of the ancient gods had awakened the red-armored ancient god body. Those who could awaken the second level, the orange-armored ancient god body, were few and far between. For example, the ancient god king that Lu Ming saw in the base of the Ice Spirit clan was 100 meters tall and covered in orange scales. He had awakened the orange-armored ancient god body. As for the third level, the yellow-armored ancient god body, it was even rarer. It was simply the rarest of the rarest. Of course, this was only the level that had just awakened the ancient god body. In fact, the descendants of the ancient gods could also level up the ancient god body by practicing the ancient god tactics. However, it was extremely difficult. It was only possible if they were extremely talented. After hearing this news, Lu Ming was even more excited. When he arrived at the 8th tribe, the people of the 8th tribe knew that Lu Ming was the descendant of the ascetic cultivators. They were all very polite to Lu Ming. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had stayed in the 8th tribe for a few days. Brother Lu Ming, the blood pool of the 8th tribe will open in a few months. You should stay here for the next few months. When the blood pool opens, you can enter the blood pool and awaken the ancient god body. Jiyu Hongshan said. Brother Hongshan, where are you going? Lu Ming asked. He knew that Jiyu Hongshan was going to go out again. It's all because of the outsiders. I'm going to hunt them down. A cold light flashed in Jiyu Hongshan's eyes. Brother Hongshan, I'll go with you. Anyway, the blood pool will open in a few months. During this time, I have nothing to do. Lu Ming said. He planned to go with Jiyu Hongshan mainly because he was worried about Ouyang Qingxiang, Yu Linglong, and the others. If he met them, Lu Ming could find a way to save them. That's good. Jiyu Hongshan nodded and took Lu Ming with him. In the next few months, Lu Ming, Jiyu Hongshan, and the others shuttled through the barbaric mountains. However, after a few months, Lu Ming didn't meet Yu Linglong and the others. He didn't even meet any of his acquaintances. This made Lu Ming quite worried. Moreover, as time went by, fewer and fewer people came from the Qin Tian Star area. In the end, they didn't even meet one person for a few days. Jiyu Hongshan and the others speculated that the outsiders had found a place to hide during this time. This world was incomparably huge. It was difficult to find the people from the Qin Tian Star area who had found a place to hide. It was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Therefore, after a few months, the experts from the 10 tribes of the ancient god descendants slowly withdrew from the barbaric mountains. For a time, the world returned to its former tranquility. Chapter 2839. Lu Ming stayed in the 8th tribe, waiting for the opening of the blood pool. Every tribe of the descendants of the ancient gods had their own blood pool. However, they couldn't open it whenever they wanted. Because the energy of the blood pool was limited, there was a fixed time for it to open. It would only open once every 100 years. Lu Ming wandered around the 8th tribe. Unknowingly, he came to a wide open space. At this moment, his path was blocked. More than a dozen burly and dark-skinned young men blocked Lu Ming's path. They were the experts of the younger generation in the 8th tribe. Lu Ming, I heard that you're the descendant of an ascetic cultivator. A 2-meter-tall young man with a square face stared at Lu Ming and asked. That's right. Lu Ming nodded. It's said that every ascetic cultivator is extremely powerful and far surpasses their peers. I wonder if this is true. Today, we'll see for ourselves. The square-faced young man said with a strong fighting spirit. It turned out that these young men wanted to spar with Lu Ming. Lu Ming glanced around and found that the square-faced young man was only a LV7 true god. He shook his head and said, You're no match for me. Lu Ming was telling the truth. A LV7 true god was indeed no match for him. How arrogant. Your cultivation is obviously lower than mine. How do you know that I'm no match for you? We haven't awakened our divine bodies either. My cultivation is higher than yours and I can suppress you. Come, let's fight. The square-faced young man was very persistent. His fighting strength was strong and he forced his way toward Lu Ming. The other young men also stared at Lu Ming. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. He knew that he had to fight today. In the legends of the descendants of the ancient gods, the ascetic cultivators were extremely powerful. These people were curious and doubtful. They wanted to test Lu Ming's strength. Figures appeared around them. They were the descendants of the ancient gods. Jiyu Hongshan also appeared. However, they didn't stop them. Instead, they looked on with anticipation. The descendants of the ancient gods were very belligerent. They also wanted to see how strong Lu Ming was. All right, let's spar then. Lu Ming nodded. His body soared into the air, hovering in the air. Bang! The square-faced young man took a step forward and soared into the sky, standing face to face with Lu Ming. Boom! The square-faced youth was the first to move. Facing Lu Ming, he did not dare to be careless. He directly used his full strength. The power of a 7th-level true god erupted completely, and a fist rumbled towards Lu Ming. Boom! Lu Ming also punched out. With this punch, Lu Ming activated the battle character Secret ART's double combat power. Dong! The two fists collided, and a violent explosion erupted. Then, the square-faced young man's body violently shook, and he was blasted away like a cannonball. He flew for over 100 miles, and his face paled as he spat out a mouthful of blood. The square-faced young man looked at Lu Ming in shock. One move, just one move, and he was defeated. He was not Lu Ming's match at all. Impressive. He is indeed the descendant of the ascetic cultivators. His cultivation is 2 levels lower, but in terms of strength, he completely overpowered him. Jiyu Hongshan exclaimed. Indeed, and I feel that he did not use his full strength at all. I wonder how strong he will be if he uses his full strength. The others exclaimed, and they were even more curious. Thank you. Lu Ming cupped his fists at the square-faced young man. Impressive, indeed impressive. I admit defeat. The square-faced young man sighed and flew down to the ground. Bang! After the square-faced young man flew down, another young man flew up and stood in front of Lu Ming. My name is Jiyu Zhuo, and I am a 9th-level true god. I would like to spar with you. The young man cupped his fists and said. Please. Lu Ming raised his hand. Since the other party wanted to spar with him, he would accompany him to the end. He wanted to convince the ancient god tribe and show his strength. This way, he would be able to gain more benefits from the ancient god descendants. Boom! Jiyu were attacked. His muscles bulged, and his body seemed to have turned into steel. Although he had not awakened the ancient god body, the power of his divine body was not to be underestimated. He attacked continuously, and his fists tore through the air and blasted towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming did not take out his spear, and he also used his fists to fight. However, Lu Ming's fists contained 6 divine powers, and the battle art had tripled his combat strength. Lu Ming's strength was already shocking, and he had completely suppressed his opponent. Dong! Dong! The two exchanged a few blows, and Jiyu Zhuo could not withstand Lu Ming's attacks, so he quickly retreated. Just like the square-faced young man, he was also suppressed by Lu Ming. Impressive, really impressive. Jiyu Zhuo is a 9th-level true god, but he is no match for him. The strength of the ascetic cultivators is indeed terrifying. Can he fight with a heavenly god? Many ancient god descendants were shocked by Lu Ming. The dozen young men who had challenged Lu Ming looked at each other. Jiyu Zhuo was the strongest among them. If even Jiyu Zhuo was no match for him, there was no need for the other sects to challenge him. Is there anyone else who wants to spar with me? Lu Ming asked. The dozen young men remained silent. They had already acknowledged Lu Ming's strength. The descendant of the ascetic cultivators is indeed the descendant of the ascetic cultivators. Your strength is amazing. How about I spar with you? At this moment, a voice came from afar. Then, a figure flashed, and a handsome young man appeared in the air. The young man's aura was vast and mighty. He had reached the first-level heavenly god realm. Brother Ji Ming, it's Brother Ji Ming. The young men were shocked. Ji Ming, you are one of the strongest geniuses of the 8th tribe. You are also a first-level heavenly god and have awakened the ancient god body. It is not appropriate for you to spar with Lu Ming. Ji Hongshan stepped forward and said, Brother Hongshan, I am itching to spar with Lu Ming because of his strength. If Lu Ming does not want to spar with me, I will not force him. Ji Ming said with a smile. He was indeed itching to spar with Lu Ming. Seeing how powerful Lu Ming was, he could not help but want to spar with Lu Ming. He wanted to see what other skills the descendant of the ascetic cultivators had. But, Ji Hongshan was still hesitant. After all, Ji Ming was much stronger than Lu Ming. Brother Hongshan, it's okay. I also want to spar with you to understand the power of the ancient god body. Lu Ming said. He had seen Ji Hongshan and the others using the ancient god body. He only knew that it was very powerful. However, he had not tried it himself. He was also very curious about the power of the ancient god body. In that case, you can spar with me. However, Lu Ming, you have to be careful. Ji Ming has awakened the ancient god body. It is the orange-armored ancient god body. Ji Hongshan reminded. Orange-armored ancient god body? Come on. Lu Ming exuded a strong battle intent. Haha, Brother Lu Ming is very forthright. However, if you want me to use the orange-armored ancient god body, let's see if you can force me to use it. Ji Ming smiled. The aura of a heavenly god was completely released. A 2-meter-long mace appeared in his hand. It looked extremely ferocious. Chapter 2840. The mace in Ji Ming's hand was as thick as a person's waist. It was covered with sharp spikes and looked extremely ferocious. Lu Ming, you go first. Ji Ming looked at Lu Ming and said. With his cultivation of heavenly god realm, it was already embarrassing for him to fight with Lu Ming. At this moment, he did not want to take advantage of Lu Ming. All right. Lu Ming nodded. The 6 divine fires in his body burned fiercely and the battle formula was triggered to quadruple his combat strength. 3 devastating blows, sky-piercing. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. A dazzling spear radiance tore through the void and stabbed toward Ji Ming. So powerful. As soon as Lu Ming made his move, many descendants of the ancient gods were shocked. The power of Lu Ming's attack had reached the level of heavenly god realm. It was much more powerful than when he had attacked with Ji Zhuo and the rest. Ji Ming's eyes narrowed and he looked dignified. Exploding spirit strike. Ji Ming shouted and unleashed all of his strength. He waved his mace and brought about an endless gale as he attacked Lu Ming. Dong. Their attacks collided. It was as if millions of explosives had exploded in the void, causing a terrifying vibration. Buzz. Buzz. The long spear in Lu Ming's hand vibrated violently. Lu Ming felt a surge of power and he quickly retreated. Similarly, Ji Ming's figure also retreated rapidly, retreating more than Lu Ming. So powerful, so powerful. Lu Ming actually forced Ji Ming to retreat. Ji Ming is a heavenly god. What terrifying combat strength. Without using his ancient god body, Ji Ming would not be able to defeat Lu Ming. Indeed, the descendants of the ancient gods were all shocked. Ji Ming looked dignified, but his fighting spirit was stronger. Lu Ming, you are so powerful. It seems that even if I don't use my ancient god body, I am no match for you. You have to be careful. As soon as Ji Ming finished speaking, a terrifying aura exploded from his body. Roar. A roar came from Ji Ming's body. It was as if an ancient god was roaring. At the same time, Ji Ming's body rapidly grew. He grew to more than 20 meters at an astonishing speed. Moreover, unlike Ji Hongshan and the rest, Ji Ming's body was covered with orange scales that shone under the sun. The mace in his hand also grew in size along with Ji Ming's body. A giant appeared in front of Lu Ming. This was the orange armor ancient god body. Exploding spirit strike. Ji Ming shouted loudly. He waved the wolf-fanged mace and charged toward Lu Ming again. The sky shook violently. The power this time was much stronger than the previous time. 3 Annihilation Strike Moon. Bang! The two sides collided for the second time. A terrifying sound wave spread out in all directions. Then, Lu Ming's body was blown away like a cannonball. He was thrown a few hundred miles away, creating a long air wave. Crack! Lu Ming had activated the 9 layers crimson gold armor. However, at this moment, cracks appeared on the 9 layers crimson gold armor. Lu Ming felt his entire body go numb and he almost spat out blood. What a terrifying power! Lu Ming looked at Ji Ming's huge body in front of him. He was shocked. Ji Ming's power was beyond his expectation. Even if he used all his strength, he would not be able to resist Ji Ming's power. Is this the power of the ancient god body? Lu Ming muttered. He was looking forward to it. Ji Ming's ancient god body and his ancient god body were like two different people. The difference in power was too great. This was the orange armor ancient god body. If he awakened a stronger ancient god body, how strong would he be? Lu Ming was very excited about the ancient god body. Lu Ming, do you still want to come? Ji Ming's deep voice rang out. Of course. This is just the beginning. Lu Ming laughed. He had not used his skills yet. Swoosh. As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Ming performed the Garuda technique. In a flash, he appeared above Ji Ming's head. 9 ice chains flew out and wrapped around Ji Ming. At the same time, a 9-clawed dragon appeared and pounced on Ji Ming with a roar. Good timing. Ji Ming waved his mace and attacked the ice chains and the 9-clawed dragon. However, as Lu Ming's cultivation level increased, the power of the ice chains and the divine dragon aspect technique also increased significantly. Now, it was not so easy to defeat them. Clang! Clang! Although the ice chains and the 9-clawed dragon were repelled by Ji Ming, they were not defeated. After they were repelled, they continued to attack Ji Ming. At the same time, Lu Ming also performed the moon slashing technique and attacked Ji Ming. It could be said that Lu Ming had used all his means and unleashed his abilities to the extreme. However, he was still no match for Ji Ming. He could not get close to Ji Ming to form an effective attack. Every time he attacked, Ji Ming would repel him with his terrifying strength. However, Lu Ming's speed was extremely fast. His means were complicated and varied. It was impossible for Ji Ming to defeat Lu Ming in a short period of time. The two of them exchanged dozens of blows and the outcome was still a draw. All right. Let's stop. It's meaningless to continue fighting like this. After a while, Ji Ming suddenly shouted. He waved his mace and repelled the ice chains and the 9-clawed dragon. His body quickly retreated and shrunk to the size of an ordinary person. Lu Ming's mind moved. The ice chains flew back to Lu Ming's body and disappeared. The 9-clawed dragon was also defeated. The orange-armored ancient god body is indeed powerful. Lu Ming exclaimed. You're the powerful one. You haven't awakened the ancient god body and your cultivation is only at the 5th level of true god realm. You're so powerful. You're sick. Ji Ming exclaimed. However, his eyes were filled with admiration. Lu Ming shook his head and smiled. He relied on various secret skills and the combination of divine skills to fight Ji Ming. He was definitely not Ji Ming's match in a head-on collision. Although Ji Ming's cultivation was only at the 1st level of Heavenly God Realm, his combat strength increased tremendously when he transformed into the ancient god body. He could probably crush a 2nd level of Heavenly God Realm and was comparable to a 3rd level of Heavenly God Realm. However, his weakness was his slow speed and lack of changes. Otherwise, Lu Ming would definitely not be Ji Ming's match. Let's spar again when you awaken the ancient god body. Ji Ming said. All right. Lu Ming nodded. At this moment, the other descendants of the ancient god were discussing among themselves. They were shocked by Lu Ming's strength. Is this the strength of an ascetic cultivator? Isn't it too terrifying? It's indeed shocking. An ordinary ascetic cultivator would definitely not be this powerful. I reckon that Lu Ming is a peerless genius even among the ascetic cultivators. Definitely. Everyone nodded. If an ordinary ascetic cultivator was this powerful, it would be a huge blow to them. They did not doubt Lu Ming's various means. In their opinion, ascetic cultivators traveled to all kinds of dangerous places to train themselves. It was normal for them to have all kinds of strange means. Chapter 2841. The sparring session came to an end and Lu Ming witnessed the power of the ancient god body. Lu Ming returned to his residence and waited patiently. 7 days later, the blood pool was officially opened. Lu Ming and more than 20 young men of the 8th tribe followed a few old men to a huge stone palace. In addition to them, many people from the 8th tribe had gathered outside the stone temple. They were all here to watch. Blood pool, open, an old man shouted softly. Then, a few old men stepped forward and condensed strange runes in their hands. The runes flew toward the gate of the stone palace. The gate opened with a rumble, revealing a dark entrance. Go in. Remember, do your best. The longer you stay in the blood pool, the more bloodline power you absorb and the stronger your awakened ancient god body will be. An old man warned. Yes. The 20 or so youths nodded in unison, and then walked towards the door. Lu Ming was among them. When they entered the gate closed with a rumble. When the gate was closed, the gate glowed and an image appeared above the gate. It was the image of Lu Ming and the others in the stone palace. They could see everything from the outside, which was why so many people came to watch. I wonder how many people will awaken the ancient god body this time. About half. Every time, it's about half. I hope it's more this time. I hope someone can awaken the orange ancient god body. I wonder what level of ancient god body Lu Ming will awaken. He has condensed the ancient god heart, so he'll at least have the orange ancient god body. It's not impossible for him to awaken the yellow ancient god body. Once the yellow ancient god body is awakened, his future will be limitless. Many people were watching and talking about it. After Lu Ming and the rest entered the door of the stone hall, they saw a pitch-black passageway. They walked along the passageway. After walking for 100 miles, the light in front of them lit up. They actually came to a huge space. This space was very bright and there was a small lake on the ground. The water was blood red and there was a terrifying energy rippling out. Is this the blood pool? It's a lake. Lu Ming sighed. Let's go in. Remember, hold on for as long as you can. There's only one chance, so we have to seize it. Jiyuj warned everyone. Everyone nodded and slowly walked down the blood pool. Lu Ming also stepped out and entered the blood pool. As soon as he stepped into the blood pool, a strange, powerful energy rushed toward Lu Ming. It entered Lu Ming's skin and entered Lu Ming's ancient god heart. This is the aura of an ancient god. Lu Ming could sense that the energy pouring in from the blood pool contained a rich ancient god aura. Lu Ming quickened his pace. Soon, his entire body was submerged in the lake. From all directions, even more energy rushed towards Lu Ming and surged into the ancient god's heart. The ancient god's heart started thumping. As the energy poured in, the ancient god's heart beat even faster. It even released a burst of energy to absorb the energy from the outside world. Outside the stone hall, everyone waited quietly. About 3 hours later. Splash! The lake water churned. A youth rushed out of the lake and landed on the shore, gasping for breath. I failed. The youth's eyes were filled with disappointment and loneliness. He had not awakened his ancient god body, but he could not withstand the energy in the blood pool. This meant that he had failed. There was a strange energy in the blood pool. Each person could only enter once. If they entered a second time, they would be expelled by the energy. If he did not succeed this time, he would not be able to awaken his ancient god body again. Jiyu Feng failed. Sigh, although I knew that his chances of success were low, I still had a glimmer of hope. What a pity. Outside the stone hall, someone sighed. It was Jiyu Feng's family. Jiyu Feng's failure was just the beginning. Following that, More and more people failed and rushed out of the blood pool. Once they entered the blood pool, a powerful energy would rush into their bodies. When the energy accumulated enough, it would even cause their bodies to explode. Therefore, many people could not withstand it. This was a test of one's willpower and the density of their ancient god bloodline. The denser one's ancient god bloodline was, the easier it was to absorb the energy. Take Lu Ming for example. His ancient god heart was constantly absorbing the energy. He did not feel any pressure at all. As time passed, more and more people failed. After half a day, half of the people had failed. These people who had failed all had ugly expressions as they sighed in despair. The people outside the stone hall became nervous. That was because those who could stay in the blood pool for half a day had a high chance of awakening their ancient god body. Roar. Suddenly, a loud roar came from a direction of the blood pool. Waves of blood surged in that direction, forming a whirlpool. At the same time, a huge figure appeared out of thin air. This figure was not real, but a phantom. This was the true phantom of the ancient god. The phantom of the ancient god raised its head and roared, exuding an aura of supremacy. Then, a loud roar came from under the lake. Then, the figure of a young man appeared. His body began to swell. He was originally about 2 meters tall, but soon he grew to 3 meters, then 4 meters. Crimson scales also appeared on the surface of his body. Someone had succeeded. He had successfully awakened the red-armored ancient god body. Finally, the young man's body stopped growing when he was 8 meters tall. As his cultivation increased in the future, when he transformed into the ancient god body, his height would also increase. At this time, the phantom of the ancient god in the sky disappeared. It turned into a ray of light and entered the young man's body. The young man's body began to shrink to the size of a normal person. He landed on the shore with a smile on his face. Congratulations, Jiyu Tong. Congratulations on awakening the ancient god body. On the shore, the young men who had failed came over to congratulate him. They were all envious. Outside the stone hall, many people were also happy. Every tribe member who awakened the ancient god body would strengthen the strength of the 8th tribe. This young man's success seemed to be the prelude to success. Following that, more and more young men succeeded. 2 days later, a total of 11 young men and women had awakened the ancient god body. However, they were all red-armored. None of them had an orange-armored ancient god body. 2 days later, only 2 people were still in the blood pool. One was Lu Ming, and the other was Jiyu Zhuo. Jiyu Zhuo is very talented. I wonder if he can awaken the orange-armored ancient god body. Let's wait and see. If he can stay in the blood pool for 3 days, he might awaken the orange-armored ancient god body. It's hard to say. Jiyu Ming stayed in the blood pool for 5 days. Outside the stone hall, many people were looking forward to it. Chapter 2842. Generally speaking, if one could stay in the blood pool for 3 days, it meant that he had absorbed enough energy to awaken the orange-armored ancient god body. Of course, it was not 100% certain. The longer one stayed in the blood pool, the greater the chance. In the blink of an eye, another day had passed. Lu Ming and the others had been in the blood pool for 3 days. Many people began to feel nervous. It had been 3 days. Lu Ming and Jiyu Zhuo had both stayed in the blood pool for 3 days. Lu Ming and the others were not worried. Lu Ming had the ancient god heart, so it was not a problem for him to awaken the orange-armored ancient god body. They were worried about Jiyu Zhuo. Would he be able to awaken the orange-armored ancient god body? Time passed slowly while everyone was looking forward to it. Soon, 4 days had passed since Lu Ming and the others had been in the blood pool. 4 days. It's been 4 days. Jiyu Zhuo is more likely to awaken the orange-armored ancient god body. I hope he can awaken the orange-armored ancient god body successfully. Once the orange-armored ancient god body was awakened, one would become a peerless genius. No matter which tribe he was in, he would be a top genius. Only by awakening the orange-armored ancient god body could one have a glimmer of hope to enter the immortal king realm. Those who did not awaken the orange-armored ancient god body had almost no hope of entering the immortal king realm. Roar. At this moment, a roar was heard. An ancient god shadow suddenly appeared on the surface of the lake. This ancient god shadow was several times larger than the ancient god shadows that had appeared before. It was extraordinarily mighty. Then, Jiyuju's body appeared on the surface of the lake. As soon as he appeared, he let out a roar. His body quickly expanded and swelled. Dense orange scales appeared on the surface of his body. Orange. It's orange scales. It's the orange-armored ancient god body. Ha ha ha. Jiyuju has successfully awakened the orange-armored ancient god body. The 8th tribe has one more ancient god body in orange armor. Many people laughed and were excited. Jiyuju's body did not stop growing until it was more than 10 meters tall. He stood on the surface of the lake, looking extraordinarily powerful. After a while, the ancient god shadow turned into a beam of light and disappeared into Jiyuju's body. His body began to transform into human form and landed on the shore. His face was full of smiles. He had finally succeeded in awakening the orange-armored ancient god body. Moreover, his cultivation had also increased to the peak of level 9 true god realm. He was not far from the heavenly god realm. There was no need to mention how envious the other youths on the shore were. Who else is in the blood pool? Jiyuju asked. And Lu Ming. Someone answered. Jiyuju nodded. He had expected Lu Ming to be in the blood pool. After all, Lu Ming was someone who had condensed the ancient god's heart. Lu Ming, what level of ancient god body can you awaken? Orange armor or yellow armor? He whispered in an ancient voice. Those who had awakened the yellow-armored ancient god body from the very beginning were extremely rare in the 10 tribes of the ancient god's descendants. Everyone continued to wait. 5th day, 6th day, 7th day, in the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had stayed in the blood pool for 8 days. It's been 8 days. He has already awakened the orange-armored ancient god body. However, it's still a little short to awaken the yellow-armored ancient god body. Yes, he needs at least 10 days to awaken the yellow-armored ancient god body. I wonder how many days he can stay in the blood pool. Some people discussed in low voices, revealing looks of anticipation. Time passed by day. 10 days, 11 days, 12 days, soon, Lu Ming had stayed in the blood pool for more than 10 days. However, he still had no intention of coming out and there was no sign of him awakening the ancient god body. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had been in the blood pool for a month. At this moment, everyone could not remain calm. Their eyes were wide open and their breaths quickened. 1 month, he had stayed in the blood pool for a month. According to their ancient records, the one who had stayed in the blood pool for the longest time among the descendants of the ancient god was the 33rd heaven. Lu Ming was close to this record. Will Lu Ming be able to break the record of the 33rd heaven? Back then, the genius from the first tribe who stayed in the 33rd heaven almost awakened the green-armored ancient god body. Will Lu Ming be able to awaken the green-armored ancient god body? Many people looked at each other. In the history of the descendants of the ancient god, no one had ever awakened the green-armored ancient god body after awakening the ancient god body. Everyone's heart was beating fast. They were nervous and expectant at the same time. Time passed by day. 31 days, 32 days, 33 days, in the blink of an eye, 33 days had passed. Lu Ming had tied the record. However, it was not over yet. Lu Ming was still setting a new record. 34 days, 35 days, in the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had stayed in the blood pool for 45 days. 45 days, more than the previous record by 12 days. Roar. At this moment, a roar finally came from the lake. It was as if the ancient god had been reborn. It shook the vast universe. The entire stone palace shook violently. In the blood pool, blood waves surged wildly and bloodlight filled the air. At this moment, not only in the 8th tribe, but also in the blood pools of the other 9 tribes of the descendants of the ancient god. Blood waves surged and divine light filled the sky. What's going on? Why is there a change in the blood pool? I don't know. What's going on? Could it be that someone has awakened the terrifying ancient god body? It seems that the 8th tribe has been opening the blood pool recently. Send someone to the 8th tribe immediately and ask for information. The other tribes of the ancient god clan issued orders. In the 8th tribe, blood waves surged in the blood pool. In the blood waves, Lu Ming's figure emerged. Roar! Lu Ming's eyes were filled with shocking blood light. He looked up to the sky and roared. The ancient god's heart surged with terrifying energy and poured into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's body began to swell rapidly. His height grew very quickly, and at an astonishing speed, he began to grow rapidly. 10 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters. He grew crazily and finally stopped when he was 100 meters tall. The surface of Lu Ming's body was covered with green scales. Green-armored ancient god body. He has awakened the green-armored ancient god body. Oh my god! He has awakened the green-armored ancient god body as soon as he awakened it. This is the first time in history. No wonder his strength is so amazing. He is so talented. I was wondering how all the ascetics could be so strong. He must be the most talented among them. Green-armored ancient god body. His future is limitless. Will he be able to break through to the divine king realm? Oh my god! Outside the stone palace, there was an uproar. Everyone looked at the scene in the sky in shock and could not stay calm. This, on the shore of the blood pool, the other youths were dumbfounded and speechless. Chapter 28:43. Green-armored ancient god body. It's a green-armored ancient god body. How powerful is it? Ji Ming exclaimed in the crowd. At the same time, he had a strong desire to fight. He wanted to see how powerful the green-armored ancient god body was. Green-armored ancient god body. Not bad. At this moment, Lu Ming felt that he was filled with endless power. He was much stronger than before. It was as if he could destroy a star with a punch. Of course, this was an illusion. Lu Ming couldn't be so powerful now. It was an illusion caused by the surge in power. My cultivation has also broken through to the 6th level of true god realm. Lu Ming smiled. When he awakened the green-armored ancient god body, his cultivation also broke through to the 6th level of true god realm. At this moment, the ancient god shadow turned into a ray of light and rushed into Lu Ming's body and disappeared. With a thought, Lu Ming's body shrunk rapidly. The scales on his body disappeared. Lu Ming turned into the size of a normal person. He stepped on the air and landed on the shore. Lu Ming, congratulations. Lu Ming, you're amazing. Immediately, the people on the shore walked toward Lu Ming with deep envy and admiration. No one was jealous. When a person's achievements exceeded their own, there was no jealousy. There was only envy and admiration. I was lucky. Let's go out, Lu Ming said with a smile. Then, the crowd followed the passage and left the place. After leaving, Lu Ming was warmly welcomed by the 8th tribe. Lu Ming, I think you'd better be single. My tigress is very good. She can do anything. Do you want to consider her? My area is also good. She's smart and beautiful. I think you two are a good match. Suddenly, a group of aunties surrounded Lu Ming and started to matchmake for Lu Ming. Lu Ming felt a headache coming, especially when he looked at the girls whose arms were thicker than their waists. He broke out in cold sweat. Big sister, you call this beautiful? Isn't our sense of beauty too different? Lu Ming wailed in his heart. He pointed to the sky and swore that he already had a wife and a child. Only then did the aunties let Lu Ming go. They sighed. In the end, the 8th tribe held a banquet to celebrate Lu Ming's awakening of the green-armored ancient god body. Lu Ming sighed. He felt a little embarrassed. He didn't belong here and he would leave sooner or later. After 3 rounds of drinking. Lu Ming, now that you have awakened the ancient god body, you should cultivate the ancient god technique. Only by cultivating the ancient god technique can your ancient god body improve and become stronger. An elder said to Lu Ming. This man was the 8th tribe. Ancient gods technique. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He had heard of ancient gods technique, but he hadn't seen it before. Yes, only by cultivating ancient god's technique can you control the ancient god body freely. Come with me. The 8th tribe's leader said and then walked in a direction. Lu Ming followed. Not long after, they arrived in front of a cave. Ancient god's technique is inside. Go in and meditate. The 8th tribe's leader said. Thank you, leader. Lu Ming thanked him and then walked into the cave. Inside the cave was a huge cavern. Words were carved into the walls of the cavern. That was the ancient god's technique. Lu Ming began to meditate. While Lu Ming was comprehending the ancient god technique, the other 9 tribes sent people to the 8th tribe to inquire about the situation. When they learned that a descendant of an ascetic had awakened the green-armored ancient god body in the 8th tribe, the 10 tribes of the descendants of the ancient god were all shocked. Many masters flocked to the 8th tribe, wanting to meet Lu Ming. Lu Ming didn't know any of this. He was focused on the ancient god's technique. 3 months later, Lu Ming finally understood the ancient god's technique. In the future, he only needed to practice harder. Although the ancient god body can be upgraded, it is too difficult to do so. The conditions for upgrading are also very harsh. After meditating on the ancient god's technique, Lu Ming understood that in theory, cultivating ancient god's technique could upgrade the ancient god body, but it was very difficult. In fact, among the descendants of the ancient gods, there were not many who could upgrade the ancient god body by cultivating ancient god's technique. After meditating for a while, Lu Ming left the cave. Lu Ming is out. As soon as Lu Ming left the cave, the news immediately spread to the 8th tribe. Initially, Lu Ming intended to return to his residence. However, he was stopped by someone halfway through his journey. Lu Ming, let's have a competition. Ji Ming stopped Lu Ming with a fervent look in his eyes. Sure. Lu Ming smiled. He also wanted to find someone to test the power of the ancient god body. Come on. Ji Ming rushed to the sky. Lu Ming also rushed to the sky. Lu Ming and Ji Ming are going to fight again. The news that the two of them were going to spar quickly spread. Immediately, many people appeared in the sky to watch the fight. Ancient god body. This time, Ji Ming was very direct. He used his ancient god body and turned into a 20-meter tall orange-armored ancient god. He held a mace in his hand and looked very majestic. Let's try the power of the ancient god body. Lu Ming also had an idea. He operated the ancient god's technique. His body quickly grew and turned into a 100-meter tall green-armored ancient god. Gosh, it's really a green-armored ancient god. Terrifying. There were people from other tribes in the area who were watching, and the shock they felt was hard to imagine. Exploding spirit strike. Ji Ming roared angrily and charged toward Lu Ming. This was because Lu Ming's ancient god aura was constantly emitting from his body. This aura made Ji Ming feel frightened. This was the suppression of a superior to a subordinate. He was afraid that if this continued, he would lose the courage to fight. Therefore, he had to make the first move. Come on. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand and he swept it out. This time, Lu Ming did not activate the battle formula. He only activated it with his divine power and the power of the ancient god body. A huge long spear, like a mountain range, charged at Ji Ming. Boom. The long spear and the mace collided. Heaven and earth shook. Buzz. As the long spear vibrated, a terrifying and boundless force erupted. Ji Ming's body was sent flying backward for more than 1,000 miles. Lu Ming was like an adult hitting a baby with a stick. Ji Ming flew for more than 1,000 miles before he stopped. His body was trembling and he almost lost his grip on the mace. Again, Ji Ming bellowed and charged toward Lu Ming again, exerting all his strength. However, Lu Ming pulled out his spear and Ji Ming's body was sent flying again. It was an absolute suppression. Baidu Search Translator, ZephyZ Editor, Defys. No advertising message. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.